root of all evil. That's how it starts. Oh boy. All right. So that's where we're gonna go. So we had a fantastic day, Mike, didn't we? It was wonderful. It was full of excitement, full of events. We had so many things. What did we have? List some of them.
Well, I think it was a great day. We tried to top off yesterday's day, and
I think we succeeded.
I think we overdid ourselves today. We really went overboard with everything, and it wasn't even done on purpose. It just happened that way.
We weren't even trying to make it happen. It's just gonna happen. It's not an issue.
But before we get into it, what I wanted to say is that unfortunately, Etienne could not be to take part of this episode today. He had a little bit of emergency. He had to leave. So of course, we're continuing things business as usual. And Gabriel, today you had the roundtables. How did that go?
It was fantastic. It was actually the last round table that we're going to have that's going to be on a Zoom meeting only. So we're actually going to be, I announced it this morning. It's very exciting. People have been requesting it for months. I'm actually going to have the Zoom now on a hybrid version, which was requested consistently for the last 6 months.
So you were saying that it's becoming more modern.
It's more modern. It's more exciting. Jay's going to be hosting it from now on. It's perfect. It's all. So Jay's actually with us. We have Andres. We have the whole crew here. It was a really exciting day. Honestly, you were talking about the roundtable. Yes, it's the last one by Zoom. We're going to have it hybrid. Tell us, we had actually a big presentation that we had from 1 to 3 where actually Jay was hosting most of it. I know Jay's
Mike.
behind the camera, but Mike,
Yeah,
what happened with that?
Evidently, we had to improvise and figure something out for the day. We had our mentorship thing happening from 1 to 3. And of course, because of the emergency, Etienne could not be there. So we had to think fast and be able to improvise and get things done the way they were supposed to. So of course, Jay being the man that has a lot of knowledge, that these key people would need, came in, of course, with a lot of stuff that would basically help them better their business, and we were able to have something successful, substantial, and something that they could go home with. So I thought it was excellent. Thanks a lot, Jay.
Thank you, guys.
Plus, don't forget, in these type of trainings, it's unbelievable because Jay not only is bringing 22 years on the media side, which is already great enough, but he's how much did you pay for that Google high executive?
Google mentorship.
Google mentorship, and I think he's paid about $47,000 to be in that class. Now, he did pay a fortune, and it's the information there is gold, right? And he's kind enough to actually share it with us, sharing with the group, and so on, which is really way more than people would think is needed. But once you hear the information, you cannot unhear it, and then you have to use it, and then you're forced to be successful.
That was kind of the reaction, not to toot my own horn, but that was kind of the reaction today. I felt half the time you don't know whether people are looking through you.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you too?
All the time.
Right, because you guys do a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is one of the few I've done.
Yeah.
But I think people picked up on it. I hope they did.
I did actually. Mike spoke to some of them. I spoke to some of them, and the response was extremely positive, and people took a lot of notes, which is why I know that it went well. Because every single time that somebody actually take notes, I know they were interested. Every single time somebody tells me it was great and their book is closed and empty, I know by the time they're home they don't even know my name. And that's not the best feeling, but every single one, it was a packed room today, and every single one of them really took a lot out of it. So that was really
great. It was even, today our 1 to 3 was dedicated to brokers that are not necessarily with Mellor Group. We did have some people that were in there, but most of them were not from Mellor Group. And by the end that it was done, we already had people that wanted to join our team. So that being said, this was not a recruitment campaign. It was something that Etienne's idea, along with the rest of the team, was putting it together to be able to give back to the real estate community. And if you feel that it's something that you can get and you can learn from, we do advise you to get in contact with myself or Gabriel or Etienne for that matter, and we'll do more than we can to be able to help you go through these challenging times during this 2023 season.
Passionate. I love it.
You said there were members of the group, and our group was here.
Yeah.
The group we should probably mention that this group is an ongoing group. It has started, but you can still join the group. It's not to say we are creating concurrence with anybody within our own group, but It's more of the full-time mentorship package, right?
Right. So what it is that essentially what we have is the Mellor Group team, which is somewhat of an internship. It gives you the opportunity to kind of like tighten the gap between you going to school and actually getting on the field. So sometimes for some people, it's quite challenging, especially if you don't come from a sales background and you might not necessarily have the experience to be able to help you get started. So what we did is that we put that group together, that team together, to be able to elevate you and help you reach those goals by providing you with leads, by helping you work them, by helping you work with prospects, or not prospect, FSBOs, the rest of it. And then Gabriel, of course, comes in with his extensive training and
On dancing. And
no, the sphere, learning how to use all the softwares and anything technical, anything with a banking background. He comes from a banking background, so I think there's a lot of things that a lot of people can learn. We have a lot of experience here at the Mellor Group, so I think all of that put together, putting our heads together, I think we can achieve a lot.
I don't think you actually have any, tell me if I'm wrong, you guys have been around the block for this. I was more on the banking side, as you were saying, but I don't think there's any more agencies, at least in Montreal or even in Quebec, where you have 4 full-time directors that are there literally just for their brokers. No real estate, no nothing, no activity else than just management, coaching, and support. Am I wrong? It's a beauty.
I've been in 3 agencies.
Right.
I haven't, that's the reason I came here. I don't want it to sound like an infomercial right now. But,
And it could happen for you
but
too.
it could happen for you too. No, but I was a part-time broker.
Right.
I always liked sure money. I was too afraid to be caught up in any kind of astronomical debt, because the first agency I was at, I got into astronomical debt because I just didn't have the resources where I wanted to be.
Sure.
And when I came here, I had those resources, and I was a part-time broker, and I got master sales, and I felt really good about myself.
There you go.
And that made me, after the pandemic, tired of being alone and always working, wanting to be with a group, and I found you guys that were friendly faces, and that's what it was. But there's never, I don't think, Mike, have you run into anybody or any group that had
This kind of
the
support.
amount of
No,
attention?
no, not really.
No.
Not really, but you know, it's mostly what you'll notice is most agencies that you go to, you know, you barely can even see the directors, even talk to them, you know, let alone if you can ask a question and it takes 48 or 72 hours for someone to answer you. So I think it's the fact that the experiences that we've had and what we've been through, we always put ourselves in the shoes of brokers because we are brokers at heart. And I guess us being able to understand how brokers feel, we're able to give them a better experience.
So well said. I love it. So well spoken.
You've really taken the place of Etienne today.
I love it. I love it. It's real. That's why he has the 2 mics. It's
No, but
2
what
mics
were
for
the
mics.
challenges? I mean, it was a busy day, but you still had your group. You had some challenges there. What were the major takeaways from today for you?
Well, I mean, takeaways, I guess that, you know, when things happen and, you know, you just gotta, the show must go on. You gotta do whatever it is that you need to do, regardless of whatever mishap gets in your way. And I think we found a way to work with it.
Hey, Mike's attitude, by the way, he is the angel from the clouds that comes down when things go terribly wrong. So this happens. He said, you say, Jake, come here. Etienne needs to speak to you.
Yeah.
He's got to go. He's not going to be part of the conference.
Sure.
We got to do this by ourselves. I look at Mike. I go, Mike, this is it. Are you ready? He looks at me and he goes, this is the way it was supposed to be. We're going to face it. Let's go. And I was just like,
That's out of a
if
movie.
ever-
It's perfect.
If ever there was Black Hawk Down 2,
Yeah, exactly.
or you know, any war movie 2, I want Mike to be cast, and I want Mike
And
to
you,
be
and you have
looking at
Hans
me,
Zimmer in the back. It's just doing it.
exactly at the camera and go, it's what it's supposed to be. Let's get it
out.
It was awesome.
That it's 48
And you know
hours
what?
earlier.
Because of that mentality, it put me in a great spot to just go and do it. And I'm sure, I mean, this is the camaraderie and the groups even talk. That's the biggest compliment I think when I sit here and brokers come in or they come by and they go, hey, I just want you to know, I think we know who we're talking about. There's a bunch that come in and they go, hey, I just want you to know, it's actually really fun being here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's why
should
you
be.
choose it.
Yeah.
But it's so often it's not, right? And I was discussing that actually with Etienne yesterday. So do you want to be in a place where you have to build the future and grow the company and go through all these pains, but at least you're doing it with people you enjoy? Or do you want to go to a place that's already completely established, that's like a multi-billion corporation and so on, but you hate everybody's guts and you're miserable going there and so on? At some point, it's not about the money, it's about the journey. The money is going to come either way, right? And it's the same thing when you're a broker. You cannot tell yourself, I'm in it for the money. I'm in it because I want to make 300, 500,000 and so on. If you, I won't say love what you do, but if you love the journey and you're passionate about the journey and who you're going to meet on that journey, the money's going to come. If you focus on the dollar amount and you don't care about who's around you, it's probably not going to happen for you.
I think that people tend to take the journey probably more seriously when they actually reach the goal, because they realize that once they reach their goal, they're not as happy as they anticipated that they would be. It's like you got $1 million out. This is what $1 million feels like, and you're like, okay. And then
What else? What's next?
How many times can I go to Ogilvy in a week?
Oh my gosh. I went through those pains. Also today, I'll switch subject before my wife picks up on this and say, oh, it's time again. It's that time of the year. We had also today Hell Week that had started yet again. So we had taken a bit of a break. Maybe if we could just check on the sound. I'm getting a comment saying that the sound is not ideal. If we could check on that, I'm still going to keep going here. So for Hell Week, we were actually having our new group that started today, all new brokers. So it's nice to see. We sometimes have very experienced brokers that are with them. However, in every case, it was a very good, heavy day. We spoke about platforms and tools for 6 hours straight. I'm trying to be less intense. I've heard apparently I can come across very direct with people, so I'm trying to work on that. Hopefully the sound is good now, but very good for that. If any of our brokers is looking to start the Hell Week with us, even if they participated in the past, outside brokers that are curious to know what it is, so it's really the quick start to your business. It would be more than our pleasure to tell you more information about it.
did the format change for the Hell Week? I mean, compared to when we started it a year ago, would you say that it changed a lot? Like somebody that already did it, would you convince them to actually come back again? Would it be good?
I would, because if anything, it's going to be a fantastic refresher for you. And if not, even if it's not a refresher, or it's your first time, it's not your first time, there's always new ways, new things coming up. The group is always different, so that means that the role play is going to be different. Everybody's answer is going to be different. Even myself, after 10 years in sales, somebody says something and I'm like, you know what? This is much better. We should have done that here. The sound apparently is still the same. Here, just so you guys know.
If you're watching on Instagram, the sound will be like this.
Okay.
Because it's on a camera.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If you want the professional version,
Go on
to any of
Facebook.
the streaming platforms. Such
That's
as
why
Facebook.
our users are very old, and Sam Mellor is saying Facebook is okay, Instagram is terrible. So
Thank you,
he's
yeah.
just confirming all that, so it's perfect. So anybody on Instagram, please go now on Facebook for the end of the show, just so you get the LinkedIn.
Pinterest.
There you go. All over. 4K high definition with Mike's beautiful tonality.
You can pay $195 for the premium.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason we're doing this. All that to say, it was a great day, a great start of the week. We were busy yesterday. We got busier today, but all in all, even with everything that kind of hit us last minute, I think we handled it very well. I'm very proud of everybody. So on that, we're going to let all of you guys go. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Take care, everybody.